Greetings, dear HMC friends, and it's good to be able to share with you again today. I have to say that I am fascinated by some of the video clips that you see on the news of when volcanoes erupt. And certainly this year, Iceland has had a fair share of volcanoes that have been erupting. As that molten lava just flows, and just like water, it's got its own path. And it would be interesting to visit Iceland once all that has settled down and to see how the landscape has changed. Or I'm going to use the word, the mountains have moved. And so when we read in Matthew's Gospel, chapter 17, when Jesus says, "Oh, you of little faith, truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move, for nothing will be impossible for you." And with our own eyes, we are seeing how nature can move mountains. But I went to look at this text because I was listening to a podcast. And the lady on the podcast was relaying the story of a Syrian Christian who was part of her Bible study group. And the Syrian Christian had said that in Syria, there is a saying, is that there's a mountain on your chest. You have to get up and move it. So I went to Google this and to try and see its origins. Sadly, I didn't find it, but there were many others. And it got my mind thinking. Making a mountain out of a molehill. The fact that we would move mountains to try to assist somebody or to do something. And my mind began to wonder, and I did some more Googling. This idea of a mountain on your chest. That how often it is in our chest that we feel oppression. Not just an angina attack or a heart attack, which seems to threaten the very core of us, but there's times when people have great shock. They're just out of breath. Somebody who has lost somebody very dearly can often say it feels like there is a pain in their chest. And mixing of those all together, whatever they mean, just brought a new illustration to me of moving a mountain in the name of Jesus. And so I went back to try and see the context of this verse of Matthew 17. And the story that happens before this is the disciples with Jesus in the Transfiguration. And it reads that when they heard the voice of God speaking, that they fell face down to the ground and terrified. And Jesus came and touched them. "Get up," he said. "Do not be afraid." When they looked up, they saw no one except Jesus. And I quite liked that idea. That out of their terror, and sometimes a mountain that may be blocking us and our way forward, that when we look to Jesus, indeed there is enough to move the mountain. Now I have no doubt that the mountain can be moved physically, as these volcanoes are showing us, and it can happen dramatically. But sometimes the mountains that we face in our own lives seem even harder to summit. So maybe the secret is, out of their terrified moment, Jesus touched them, and all they saw was Jesus. And so may you see Jesus in whatever you are facing today, and may God bless you.